People are scared of it, but I think we created that. When you look at society anymore, you can't get people to work in McDonald's. You go for a coffee at Starbucks and they're closed at 6 o'clock because they don't have anybody to work. Yeah, there's going to be robots that are going to make your coffee. Yeah, there's going to be AI that's going to take your job that you needed a college degree for. I learned that there's attorneys writing case stuff with AI at this conference I was at. It was just amazing to me what people are using, and the more you're exposed to it, the more you learn that the opportunity is endless with it.
It still hits, I don't miss it. It's go, 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 like a go, go flow. And I'm almost done, and I told you so. When I throw these flows, like it's Rochambeau. And I ain't too close, it's Joe Smo goes. And I'm on my grind, that is all the time. I do not do breaks, that's right, I stay in dry. And look, I'm back with a little bit of that, and a little more cash than it came in with. Ready, that cat is out that bad, but I still ask you, the boy got skills. I don't need her, I don't need him, I don't need help with me, I got this. I can sing songs, I can spit raps, and I can do both, even do this, word.
This episode is brought to you by Sweat Tent, the pioneers of the portable wood-burning sauna. Did you know that using the sauna 3 to 4 times per week could reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease by up to 50% and make you 60% less likely to experience Alzheimer's disease? That's why I've been a big fan of the sauna for years. But having to go to a crowded gym to do it isn't ideal. And all the at-home options are bulky and expensive. That's why I only use the Sweat Tent for my sauna needs. It's the most storable and affordable wood-burning sauna on the market. It not only takes minutes to set up, but it can reach 200 degrees Fahrenheit in 30 minutes or less. So whether you're enjoying it yourself in your backyard, with friends, or in need of a reliable sauna on the go, Sweat Tent is your best choice for the most portable, storable, and enjoyable outdoor sauna experience. All On The Stacks listeners will receive $100 off when you use code OTS. Visit sweattent.com today to get $100 off your purchase with code OTS at checkout. Again, that's sweattent.com to get $100 off with code OTS. Sweat Tent, helping you fire up your home wellness routine. This episode is brought to you by Wilkes Consulting, a Ramsey-preferred coaching firm. Are you drowning in debt? Is the weight of financial stress holding you back from living the life you were meant to live? Then it's time to break free and regain control of your financial future. Wilkes Consulting specializes in financial and debt consulting. Their team of 4 highly trained Ramsey Solutions advisors are ready to help you take charge of your money. Whether you're looking to get out of debt, pay off student loans, or simply need assistance on how to prepare to buy a home, Wilkes Consulting can help you fine-tune your budget and provide the resources and guidance you need to meet your goals. Don't let debt or the fear of finances control your life any longer. Head over to wilkesbarre.com and book a hassle-free, no-obligation call. Your first step towards financial freedom. Again, that's wilkesbarre.com, wilkescopa.com. Wilkes Consulting, making financial independence a reality. This episode is brought to you by Burn, the fitness company behind the Today Show approved Burn board. If I'm being honest, working out can be a real chore, especially as a new dad in desperate need of sleep and cardio. Burn is founded by NEPA native Jimmy T. Martin, and his Burn board offers a low-impact core and cardio experience unlike anything I've done before. They have hundreds of on-demand workouts that are great for beginners, seasoned athletes, and out-of-shape podcast hosts who love supporting small businesses. My wife and I use it pretty frequently throughout the week, and it's honestly a great way to burn a ton of calories without burning a ton of cash. Not to mention, it's a great tool for skiers, runners, wrestlers, and hockey players. Jimmy is offering all On The Stacks listeners 15% off when they use the code STACKS15. Visit theburn.com today to get 15% off your purchase with code STACKS15 at checkout. Again, that's theburn, THEBRRN.com to get 15% off your purchase with code STACKS15. It's time to get on board today with Burn. What's up, podcast? It's your host, Bill Corcoran Jr. here in the Blue Door Studio, brought to you by Sweat Tent. Jeff King, welcome to the On The Stacks podcast.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
Well, welcome back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah. Dude, it's been so long. You grew hair. I lost hair. That's why I got the hat on, right? So we kind of flip-flopped. Like, your hair got longer. Mine got shorter.
Yep. And I'm more gray. If it was short, it'd be all gray.
Yeah.
So that's why it's better long.
Ooh, is that the trick?
That's the trick.
Oh, you know.
I'm going bald.
I noticed that actually about myself, too.
I thought you were going to say you noticed that about me.
No, not about you. No, you got nice hair.
Thanks.
Nice hair, yeah. I've never really had long hair. Like mine's never really been any much longer than it's ever really been.
I did it during COVID because I had to.
Right.
And then I got my driver's license photo taken.
with the longer hair.
With the long
so you
hair
just,
and
you
a
just
full
like,
beard.
Keep it.
Yeah. And then I was like, I'm just going to keep it now.
Yeah. So, about the gray hair, like I was like, every time I get my hair cut, I'm like, that's when I, like how you said, you notice it more. And so that's the trick. You just grow out your hair.
Yep. Add a little gel to it and it's shiny.
You look like you're 20 years younger.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the point.
That's it. the secret to the youth.
Trying to feel that way too.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, man, it's been a while. We're in a whole new place too.
Love it.
Yeah. We've come a long way.
Growth is good.
It is. I got that amazing sign, the metal sign out there. Yeah. That you gifted to me. And it was really good timing.
Yep.
Because I think, well, when you, at the time that you were on last and we were back at the old studio, I don't think moving here, that wasn't even like a thing. I thought it wasn't even a consideration. Like you probably would have known, but right when you said, oh, hey, we were talking about the sign because you have some of them at your office, and,
Yep.
and you're like, oh, I'll get you one, I'll send you one, and then you sent it, and then like whatever it was, I was like, I just like hung on to it, like I didn't hang it up yet, and then fast forward, I forget however long, I was just kind of like delaying, and I'm glad I did. Because then I forget how long after that it was that I ended up moving here by the time I bought this and then closed. But once I realized like, oh, okay, now I'm buying this building and I'm moving the operation, I purposely didn't hang it then because I was like, I'm not going to hang it and then I'm going to wait until
Remove it. Yeah.
Exactly. So I was like, you know what? It was meant to be that I didn't hang it there because it was like right when I moved in here, like above that one door going into our other studio back there. It's like perfect. It literally fits like perfect.
That's because I measured it.
Did you?
On a regular door.
Like did you?
Yeah.
Is that why?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See?
I knew. Yeah, you're just smarter than me. I knew it because I was like, man, like because I don't think we ever even talked about a size.
Yep. Well, I remember being in your studio, and at that time it was condensed, and I was like, where could I put this?
Okay,
like, it's
so
going to look
like
good over a door.
A regular door.
Yep.
Okay. See, because I don't think we ever had that conversation.
No.
You're just, hey, I'm gonna send you something.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, okay, cool, and I got it, and I was like, oh, this is dope. And like I said, then when I moved in here, I'm like, fits perfectly.
Yeah, it's pretty cool sign. I like it.
Right when I walked in, I knew. I was like, that's where it was probably one of the first things I hung up.
Yeah.
Actually, I put some of the lights behind it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's it. All of our offices have that sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Pest Rangers.
It should stay on the side.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get one.
There you go. Get one of me for yourself. Me, for you.
Yep.
Yeah. So how many offices are you guys up to now?
Currently we have two, I guess, main offices. One in Wilkes-Barre, Hanover Township, and another we're opening in Willow Grove. And then we have the Poconos, which is like a service center, still an office, computers, all that stuff. We could operate out of there. We just haven't put employees there yet. We were operating out of Hazleton for a little bit, but decided to bring everybody to Wilkes-Barre. It's just easier to have everybody under one roof.
Yeah.
So
what's the latest? What's the latest in the bug game?
Growth is good.
Let's talk about growth.
A lot happened since I was on. We pretty much doubled in size. Acquired a company in Lansdale, Pennsylvania, and that's been a lot of fun. I love challenges. And
what's that acquisition process like? Like, kind of take. I know we touched on I think a little bit in the last episode. I remember the one deal you said you did on a napkin or something like at a restaurant or a diner. I don't remember exactly, but that just stuck in my head for some reason.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I think about that like quite often. Probably because whenever I'm in a restaurant now, I always think like, oh, I remember that time Dave, Jeff was telling me about writing on the napkin, and I'm like, whenever I see somebody at a restaurant doing something like that, I think of that story.
Oh yeah, you know what? They all start in restaurants. I'm trying to think back. Every acquisition we had started in a restaurant, over lunch or dinner. This was similar. We were working on this company prior to COVID. And if they ever listen to this podcast, they'll know this now, but I looked at the business before COVID. They had no idea who I was. So
this was like in the making for a while.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah. 2018 or 19, we looked at it, and we looked at the revenue, and the revenue jumped like significantly. And the only thing I could figure out is...
After you looked at it?
The last year right before we bought it.
Okay.
Or no, I'm sorry, right before they took it to market, it kind of doubled in size, which only tells me a lot of it was cash. And they knew they were going to market, so they, obviously like a pizza business, you can't like, oh, I do $1 million. Okay, but your tax records show you do 100,000.
Yeah.
The IRS knows that you're buying a lot of pizza sauce though, so you know what I mean? That's how they get caught. But we looked at it, and I was kind of uneasy about it. because of that. Because you want to see a couple years revenue. And then COVID hit. And what happened during COVID is pest control skyrocketed. I mean, it's a great service-based business. Everybody was at home. Everybody saw bugs. Everybody saw rodents. So,
yeah,
you know,
sick of the bugs.
Yeah, they all wanted mosquito control. They're in their backyard.
Dude, once I saw a bee here, well, actually, first it was ants.
Yep.
And then ants and then bees, and I'm like, I'm calling Jeff. I'm like, I at first I kind of cheaped out, and it's like I went to Home Depot and I bought like a little spray. Worked a little bit, but then I was like, nah. I need to call in the big guns here.
Yep, and that's what happened. So like everybody's revenue in pest control, unless you were in that space of like commercial restaurants, so like New York City, they got slammed. Philadelphia, if you're in that space, it hurt. And with us, we did lose a lot of revenue in that light commercial space, but we realized everything that we lost, we doubled and tripled in the residential space.
Wow.
So we really focused on that residential market. This company was strictly pure residential. They have very few commercial clients, which is great. A lot of people get into the business and they take on like the small commercial. It's easy to grab, but it's a pain in the ass.
Why?
It's hard to service. When you go to a restaurant and you order a pizza, right? You and I go out to eat. We get a pizza. We eat it. Bill, are you still hungry? Yeah, I'm still hungry. Let's get another pizza. They charge us, right? Not in the pest control. Like I got flies. They think it's included. I got cockroaches now. And they blame the pest control company because they have cockroaches. I didn't bring them in. You know, my technicians.
You guys don't plant them?
No, we don't plant them. You know, it's their vendors. They
fill out of your pocket, right?
Yeah. We sprinkled them in here.
Fill out of your tool bag.
Yeah, it's who they're buying their food from. Their beer. I mean, we've seen beer companies bring them in, laundry companies bring them in, and that they always get mad at the pest control company. It's like, hey, listen, like we're here, we're on your side to help you, but I didn't bring them here. You know. So that business gets old quick. So it was a relief that they didn't do that type of business. So I kept an eye on this company, and coming out of COVID, I reached out to the broker that had it, and I said, hey, listen, contact them again and see if they're interested. And I must have just hit them at the right time. So we did. We went to dinner a few times and talked about it. And
a couple napkin deals.
Yeah, a couple napkin deals. It was fun. This is the biggest one we've ever done. Over $1 million. So it's a lot. And my operations manager / CFO, every day on his whiteboard in the office, it would say risk. And you understand the risk here. And I know, Frank, I understand the risk. But that's his job. And he said, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to be your advisor. And we looked at it and did our due diligence. It's paid off. I got one payment left, and that's next month, and I can't wait.
Congrats.
So in under a year, we're good. So we're looking at our next one. Really what we want to try to do now is connect the Scranton wilkes-barre market to that Philadelphia market. And we're going all the way in Lansdale. So the last time I was on, we went up to Quakertown doing the commercial work. Now we start in Quakertown doing residential, and we go all the way into like Northeast Philadelphia. I don't want to get into Jersey. Philadelphia's as far as I want to go, but I need to get into the Lehigh Valley. So somehow, some way, I'll find somebody.
So you kind of skipped over, right?
Yeah, we did. But it's funny. I talked to everybody down in the Philadelphia market, and they're like, they say, you're coming into Philly now. I said, no, not really, but I am. But I said, you cross through the tunnel, it's Philly anyway. You get Power 99.
Yeah.
Right? So as soon as you get through the tunnel, and you're in Philly.
Pretty much.
So.
Yeah. It's like a whole different world once you cross.
It is.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It could be cloudy on this side and sunny
It's
there.
Totally different.
Snow,
Everybody
rain.
drives different.
They do.
Right? It's not just me, right, that notices this?
Yeah, they do drive
right?
a little different. Yeah.
I feel like as soon as you come out the other side of that tunnel, it's like.
But it turns into 3 lanes, like right after Quakertown.
Right.
It's so much easier.
It is.
So I like the turnpike. It's been good to me so far.
Except the fact that, I don't drive as much as I used to. I used to drive it like weekly, at least once a week. But I remember, a few years plus ago, it was under construction. I know it's still it's always under construction, right? Is there still a lot of construction going on?
Yeah, they have some big cranes set up now. It's impressive to look at. But
did they widen some parts?
They did.
I think.
Yeah, so from Quakertown all the way to the, down the Northeast Extension till you hit 276 is 3 lanes now.
Yeah. Makes it a little easier.
It does. I'm on that 2, sometimes 3 times a week.
Okay.
So back and forth.
You're a frequent flyer.
Yeah. Self-driving car.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Nice.
I bought that just so I could do that.
Is it a Tesla?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, love-hate relationship.
Yeah. Why? I own Tesla stock, but not the car.
I do too, and it's doing terrible. That's when I
know,
left the
I
city of
know.
Wilkes-Barre. That's the investment I made. They're like,
Yeah.
"You're crazy leaving." I'm like, "Give me that pension. It sucks anyway." And I'm gonna dump it in a Tesla, and I did, and I
Okay.
did really well with it. But when I first bought the car, so it's about a year old now, year and a half. It did self-drive. It didn't yell at me, and then I think they yelled at Elon and told
they
him,
put some
"...
updates in it.
Yeah, so if I look at my phone, I know you're not supposed to look at your phone when you're driving, but it's a self-driving car, right? I should be able to look at my phone."
Yeah.
So I, kind of peer down at my phone, and the big red, hands come up,
Wow.
grab the wheel, and I don't like to be yelled at.
Yeah. Especially by a car.
Yeah, but I noticed if you wear sunglasses, it really doesn't know that you're looking at your phone.
I see. Okay.
So
So, you just have to wear really tinted.
Figured that trick out.
Okay.
So I could actually reply to emails and texts and
Hopefully,
stuff. while I'm driving.
Elon's not. I don't think he's listening, but
No,
Yeah.
no.
one of his
But
engineers.
I'm sure there'll be technology to get through the sunglasses soon.
Oh, yeah.
soon enough.
Yeah, for sure.
But then I was at a conference in Atlantic City over the winter, and everybody's saying, "Hey, do you see on the news like all the cars aren't charging?" I'm like, don't listen to that stuff. The news tells you one thing, like the recalls. Oh, millions of Teslas are being recalled. You pull into the driveway, it connects to the internet, and the car fixes itself. These little aliens come down, they fix it while you're sleeping, they leave. You never have to go to the shop.
I love it.
So a recall is simple, but the media throws it like it's a bad thing.
Yeah, as if the car is gonna blow up.
Yeah, but I said, listen, that charging thing, BS. Don't believe it. Well, I'm leaving Atlantic City, and I had to charge. And I got to the Atlantic City Expressway, go to plug in, and for 2 hours, I'm watching gas cars pull up, put gas in, leave. I'm going, man, would I love to have a gas car right now? I should have brought the gas car, not the electric car.
Yeah.
So it was bad. So it's a love-hate. Some days I love it, some days I hate it. Summer's fine. Charging, winter, a
Yeah.
little different.
Yeah.
We're not there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll drive by itself. I really want a helicopter.
Helicopter.
It'll be a lot easier.
Yeah. Isn't there I don't know. I don't think it was for sale. I don't know why I'm thinking this, but up in Mountaintop, isn't there? There's a small airport up in where is it? Up in
It is.
What's it called?
We do the house up there.
It's right.
Glen Summit.
Glen Summit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it even workable? Do you know?
Yeah, it's a grass runway. It does show up on Google Maps.
It does. I know.
Yeah, we service the house.
I forget who I was talking to somebody else not long ago, and it somehow came up in conversation, and I'm like, and we pulled it up.
Yep.
I was like, I'm pretty sure it's on the map. Like you can actually see the runway.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you can actually see it.
There's cool place. Like you go down into Percy, Pennsylvania. So like
Where's that?
Between Quakertown and Montgomeryville, I guess.
Okay.
So if you got Quakertown exit and get to 309, you'll go right through Percy. There's a airstrip you could live on.
Really?
So, yeah, they have like hangars there.
So you can put your helicopter there?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. We're going to be flying drones soon. Think about it.
You think?
Oh, definitely.
How far out do you think we are from that?
3 to 5.
Really?
I would think so. Yeah.
I would hope so,
Technology's
anyway,
so
right?
advanced. Yeah.
Yeah?
We're getting there.
Yeah. You'd be cool with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Screw this traffic.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, think about it. But one thing you'll never get back in your life is time, right? So you spend a lot of time in traffic, working, going to Philadelphia, people going to New York, sitting in traffic all day. Imagine we'll be the Jetsons soon.
Yeah. Were there I don't really ever remember watching that much. I mean, I did, but I probably just never paid. I was a kid.
Yeah.
Did they ever like put like years in there? I don't know. It's always
I don't
like
know.
it's like one of those things I think about like The Simpsons all the time, how they predict.
Yeah. I
things,
used to
which
watch
is-
TV, and then I guess I had that entrepreneur mindset, and you stop watching TV.
I know, isn't that weird?
It is weird.
Like I used to actually watch the news and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Looking back on it, I'm like, what was I doing? What was I thinking?
If I ever have news on, it's like background noise.
Same. I don't even put that on anymore, like, at all. If anything, I'll just put music on.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hardcore rap,
Yep.
and then other days it's I can't think of it, like a Mozart. What's the I'm blanking out right now. Like what's
Opera?
that? That or what the hell's it called? Like that other genre?
Jazz.
I don't know, something. Like, yeah, but I'll put on music that doesn't have words.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like
Gospel.
thinking music,
Yeah, there you go.
right?
Yep. Elevator music.
Yeah, you're kind of like that. But yeah, same thing, man. I couldn't tell you the last time I really watched anything.
No. I don't have any desire to. Netflix. Like I have Netflix.
Sure, yeah, we
Disney
all do.
Plus, we have
Yeah.
all that stuff, right? But I'm bad with choices too. Like I'll tell you, when I bought my house in Mountaintop, Kurlanchik just got cremated by the tornado, and I went over to see Ronnie, and she had a table there and a couch, and she's like, "Well, I really don't have much." I'm like, "That's perfect. I want this and that." No choices. You get onto Netflix, and I get lost, and I'm like, "There's just too much." Yeah, there's too much to watch.
yeah.
I can't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's and again, like I used to watch a lot more on there, but not only did I get lost in it, it's just I feel like the content quality just isn't the same anymore, because I feel like they were just trying to pump out so much that I feel like they lost a lot of that. Like
the last show I saw on Netflix was the one with the Tiger King.
Oh yeah,
That was the last one.
oh man, that was a good
But
one.
you were kind of forced to watch.
Everybody
that.
was.
Yeah.
By the way, if you didn't watch that during the pandemic, like were you even home? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
really,
Like
really.
everybody watched that.
Yep.
I mean, I photoshopped my own face. Well, actually, one of my other guys did Photoshop my face onto him, and like it was like everyone was into Tiger King.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the show.
That was a good one.
That's got to be the last one I watched.
I probably watched a few other things since then, but couldn't tell you the last thing I actually watched on there. Couldn't tell you. And if anything now, it's to me, I'm just on there either for like education, whether like a documentary or just something that's, I'll say, like more real, like that I just want to like, I want to learn about that. Like whether it's a sports documentary about athletes or like some type of business documentary, just like learning about different things. Like that's the only thing that I'll go on there now for.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm checked out of the news, TV, nothing.
Yeah. That's me.
You just want to fly the helicopter.
That's it. Yeah. You know, you're
The
always
Pest
working.
Rangers chopper.
The chopper. That someday, I hope.
Have a big bug on the side.
Yeah.
All right. That'd be cool.
Definitely.
Did you ever fly anything?
No. I mean, I've been in helicopters. It's a cool ride.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it.
Oh, it's awesome.
I'm not a small plane guy. And
No?
I'm putting helicopters obviously in a small plane category.
Yeah.
You know, it's a helicopter, not a plane. But I don't. I'm not really a huge fan of flying. As long if the bigger the plane, the better.
Yeah. I
don't like
planes. Don't bother me.
No?
I
I don't like the turbulence
Yeah.
and the sounds.
You get used to it.
You know, when you hear weird sounds, it freaks me out.
Just wear your seatbelt now. I didn't really. Now I know why you wear it, because the window came out and they said if somebody was sitting in that seat on that, what was it, Boeing or whatever,
Something, yeah.
they would have been sucked right
Done.
out. Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah. So definitely wear
wild.
your seatbelt.
Yeah, for sure. Unless you're driving a Tesla, then it's self-driving. You're good, but
It still yells at you. You gotta wear your seatbelt.
yeah, right. yeah. But yeah, no, I don't do small aircrafts
Yeah.
or small boats.
I've been on a small plane that was like sideways.
Sideways.
Yeah. That was perfectly cool.
What?
They land so smooth. I mean,
Like
Yeah.
it was like flying sideways.
oh yeah, coming in like banking, coming down into the runway.
I don't like that.
Oh, it was awesome.
Where was this at?
That was in Belize.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So-
even scarier.
Yeah.
It's like sketchy. It's probably almost like landing in the mountaintop. Whoever owns that mountaintop airport.
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
like it's kind of like the same thing. You're just like,
Coming down between trees.
yeah, good luck. You know.
I will fly someday. I'll have my license. I just got
Yeah?
to find the time to do it.
Okay.
But I don't know if it'll be. They say if you learn to fly a helicopter, a plane's simple.
Okay. That's probably,
So-
yeah. I mean, I'd like to say that I'd come with you when you get it, but it's nothing against you. I'm just, I don't know. Maybe you can talk me into it. I don't know.
It's a
don't know.
smooth ride. I'm telling you, a helicopter is.
Really?
Yeah, it's very smooth. It's not bad.
I don't know why. I don't know why. I wouldn't have thought that.
Took one down to Florida Keys. That was cool. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, a couple times I'm up for an adventure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right.
You only live once.
Yeah, true. That's true. I'll consider it. I'll consider it as long as we're not flying sideways.
Yeah. Well, after time you'll get it.
Yeah. Then we can start doing the aerials.
It's kind of like any job, like bugs, right? Bugs, you think of like, oh man, bed bugs, cockroaches, right? And now over time, it's like, there's another roach, So you get used to it. So flying, you just get used to it.
Yeah, I guess you do anything enough times, and
Yeah.
it just becomes like second nature, right?
Get
Kind of
used
like
to
I guess I'll even kind of go because we got totally sidetracked there by all this craziness, but like we started talking about the acquisition thing, and I would say it's probably pretty similar, right? Like now that you've done this numerous times, right? Bought it, paid it off, and grow and grow and grow. It's like now it's like you're less scared of a bigger acquisition or doing more of them because you've done it a number of times, right?
Yeah. This is like an addiction now.
Is it?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Because it's the challenge, the financial challenge of it, the operational challenge of it. I could tell you with that company that we acquired, we retained the employees for a little bit. And then, what happens is in any business, when you kind of mend two cultures together, they were taught one way and it might not align with your vision. So, we recycled employees. And that's part of the game. You have to kind of put your vision into that business. And we did. We're doing very well down there. Within a year, I think we have over 120 Google reviews, 5-star down there. Total as a company, like over 1,600, which I'm very proud of.
It's impressive.
The guys, the technicians, like they take pride in that.
I'm pretty sure I left a couple reviews.
Yeah, you did. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's good because it keeps them accountable for their work too.
Sure.
If they're going to ask you for a review, they got to make sure they're giving, kick glove service.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all about. So
do you incentivize like different employees to do like to be able to like I'll say perform at certain levels or
they compete. Yeah, they compete. And, it is sales is a competition, reviews, all that stuff is a competition anymore. And it kind of gets the team focused and gives them something to talk about at monthly meetings. We have an awesome staff. And I know I said that the last time, but we're building I think we grew employees like 50%.
How many do you have?
Right now, 27.
Okay.
So it's fun. We'll be at 50 in no time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're going to double.
Up for the challenge.
Yeah. You're
Definitely.
a challenge guy.
Oh, yeah.
It's an addiction.
It is. Keeps me out of trouble, I guess. Keeps me busy.
Yes. I would agree with that. Same thing with this. Like the more we grow, like it's like kind of like one thing after another. It's like, oh, like what's next?
Yeah.
I always say that. Like we accomplish like one thing, and most of the times I'm not even then celebrating it because like I'm already in a good but bad way. Like I think because like I'm in it, and I'm sure you can agree with this. Like because you're in it, it's your thing. You're doing it. Like you're already like sort of because you're not doing it for the pat on the back from anybody, right? Like you're already on to like the next thing. People are like, hey man, like you gonna celebrate? I'm like, yeah, I guess, but like for what? What are we? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like I'm already a few steps ahead. Like trying to focus on like then what's next? Like what's the next thing?
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with taking a pause and trying to be present, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we all struggle with that. Be present with anything in life,
Oh,
regardless whether it's business or personal, right? But I'm always in, business wise, I'm always like just a few steps ahead because you have to be.
I felt like maybe about a year and a half ago, I started to focus on personal, and then I just get bored. I don't know. It's weird. I can't sit still, so I have to keep my mind on something. So the business growth is something that I'm really, looking forward to. Just kind of see where we go. And then once you see your employees buying vehicles, buying homes, getting married, having children, you kind of look at it and it's just a special feeling because you know that you've made an impact on their life. And therefore, you need to remain successful and keep looking for the next, and just keep building and stacking. And that's what we're doing. But it's amazing when you get buy-in from the team.
It is. And kind of just talking about that whole thing, like as far as like, seeing the success of your team, right? And I forget, I don't know if I said this on a recent episode. I'm pretty sure I did. But just talking about like I almost like in most days I feel like responsible. Like how like you said like, hey, like I want to be able to see like my team's success. And it's like, you get to a certain point where it's like you feel responsible, like really for, because you are. You literally actually are. But like the bigger you grow, the more you do, it's like, you're like, I got to keep doing this. I got to, and more because you have to really. And it's like I said, it's like you feel that, personal response, even though, it's like you always separate, business and personal, but like you feel, at least I do. And I'm, you're shaking your head. Yes too. But like you feel responsible for all these things. Yeah.
COVID taught us like when they stopped everything, that was like a rude awakening. Like, oh my, like with no revenue, if we didn't have revenue coming in, which we were very fortunate, they kept us working. But when the world stops and you look and you have families out there that need, like, it was like, all right, we need to plan. Like, capital is important. We need to save. We need to have a rainy day fund and, be very strategic on how we do things. Because you never know, like, what could happen. Nobody ever thought that would happen.
Yeah.
So I've learned a lot over the last few years.
Yeah. How has your role in the company sort of evolved over time now? Like in terms of like, going from like, not that we want to go all the way back, but from like saying like doing day-to-day operations to doing, different things in the company where your attention is now required at different levels.
Yep.
And at different things and travel, and like you're all over the place, right?
All over.
You're all over that, but you still have the team back home.
Yep.
Right? And everything's still got to go on, but yet you're also over here doing this big acquisition, right?
Oh, yeah. 3 weeks ago, I was in Puerto Rico. I was in D.C. last week. I'm taking trains, planes. I'm all over the place.
Sideways planes. Yeah.
Overseas. So it's pretty cool. The industry is awesome. I managed to get elected to the National Pest Management Association, so I sit on the board of directors there. Right now serving as president. Last time I was on, I think I was president-elect of the Pennsylvania Pest Management Association. So very involved in the Pest Management Association and in our industry. I love it. So I get to travel. I mean, I could connect anybody from California to, Maine.
It's wild
with the company. And I get calls all the time. Hey, I need this. And I hook them up with a company. But I remember the days going in servicing homes, and I loved it. That was the simple days, and it's funny because you look back and it's like, to be that guy again where I didn't really have a worry.
It's weird, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Now you look at the
less
bigger
responsibility.
Picture. Yeah, yes. I go to my main office. I'm probably there, 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes once a week, sometimes I'm not in at all. But we have 4 different locations that I could pop into. I'm more or less the visionary now, dealing with banks, insurance companies, the bigger picture of things. Actually, I was doing all of our purchasing for vehicles. That got to be too much. I think we have 25 vehicles now in our fleet.
It's a lot.
It is, yeah. So now we have a fleet manager. And I know when I first approached this employee and said, hey, listen, I think, you'd make a good fleet manager. He kind of looked, and he's in charge of our inventory and fleet. And he was kind of like, oh, okay. But it's such an important role. I mean, we have trucks all the time getting oil changes, tire rotations. I mean, our fleet that's what gets us to where we need to be. Yeah. So
if you didn't have that, you're out of business.
Yeah. This year we had 4 accidents, and they were kind of like back to back. We had a truck taken out on 81. Thank God nobody was hurt, but a tractor trailer come right over his hood.
Wow. Oh shit.
Yeah. So it was pretty intense.
Wow.
So that was our first accident. Then we had another guy that was T-boned up in the Poconos by an uninsured motorist. He had like bare minimum insurance, I think $15,000. The truck had $27,000 worth of damage. The insurance company wanted to pay us out, and I said, absolutely not. They wanted to give us $17,000. I'm like, find me this truck for $17,000 and you write a check. So they ended up fixing it, but the uninsured motorist had to pick it. Our insurance had to pick up the difference. And we had 2 others that were involved in hit and runs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Wilkes-Barre's like,
The bugs will catch up to them.
Yeah, it's a dangerous place now. People don't have insurance and they drive around.
Seriously.
So, yeah, I never realized you could have state minimum. I think is $5,000. So imagine railing into a car that's $120,000. These cars are more expensive nowadays, right?
Right. Yeah. I don't think there's anything like. There's not much like it.
No.
The car prices, just along with houses, everything is freaking like
outrageous,
insane.
Yeah,
it's insane.
So we learned a lot this year in that position. It's cool because we're growing, so people are moving up in the company. And I love it.
How do you like, with you being on the go as much as you do, like, how do you manage the team, right? Like, how do you do that?
So just through our managers. And that's something, we built a management team. We have management meetings every Wednesday. Even when I'm away, I'm still dialing in. But I make sure I'm usually in town on Wednesdays if I could be. To attend those, and everybody's held accountable. Our technicians have service managers. Service managers report to an admin. Then we have an ops manager and a finance, and then myself. We're using a lot of AI now.
Are you?
Yeah, we're getting into that space.
Like what?
So we have AI monitoring our phones, which is really cool. So
like your office, like if somebody were to call your office line.
Yep. Yeah. So every call is, you get a summary. So it's going to tell you the sentiment of the call. Is it positive or negative? So if there's a negative call, it could be forwarded to, a manager so they could review the call. What we're dealing with now, we're about a month into it. There's a lot of not negatives. It'll say that there's an issue, and what it is, somebody's going, I have ants on my countertop and they're a pain in the ass.
So is it like an automated thing, like somebody calls?
Yep.
Like how does it work?
So it's just monitoring that call in the background.
Oh, okay. So, but they're talking to a real person at your place.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're talking to our customer service team.
And the AI is in the background listening and interpreting and giving you the feedback of what good or bad they think is happening.
It'll summarize the call. It'll tell you if there's questions and answers, and then it'll tell you the wrap up. So on the wrap up, you need to follow up with Mrs. Jones. You need to do this, do that. So it'll actually send the customer service rep a checklist after the call, and they can log into the call.
So if they didn't take good notes,
it's there.
I like this.
And then we could review, we get hundreds of calls a day. So we could go in there, and what we decided to do with it, I was at a meeting in Puerto Rico, and they brought in this guy that was like really good with AI. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know that existed. And what's neat about it is, our customer service reps, when somebody calls and they say, hey, Joe did a fantastic job, he was awesome, we go on to an Excel spreadsheet and we put that, Mrs. Jones said that Joe was great. And we keep those notes. And when we have our meetings, we say, hey, you guys were mentioned, these customers love you. And that's on top of the reviews they get. So I realized we had a technician that he was great. There was some complaints, but when you have multiple people answering the phone, they could be saying, hey, Bill was terrible. And that customer service rep's like, man, I don't really hear that about Bill. I'm not going to say anything. Right. And they don't want to dog anybody. And we tell them all the time, like, listen, you need to tell, if somebody says something, we need to know about it. Like, we have values, our core values, and we're a customer service driven team. So I realized that with this AI, I could punch in, if there's a complaint, now they don't have to tell me. It's going to go right to a manager, and they're going to say, wow, Bill's getting a lot of complaints. We need to address this. But on the other side, we could see that you're getting a lot of compliments. So for the 4 weeks that we have it in play, no complaints.
What's the best? What's like the most that it's helped you so far? I know it's still very early.
Yeah, it's still early. We had a few calls that it's weird. It scores people on, or it scores our customer service team on like a 1 through 10, and I have yet to see a 10. And everybody was getting 7s and 8s. But then there was a 9. So we pulled that 9 call, and it was just maybe a billing discrepancy. But it was the way the customer service rep handled that call scored her a 9. But then it also tracks like sales. So it's helping us in a million different ways.
Sales over the phone?
Sales over the phone. So it'll tell you if something was sold. We use a lot of Google Guaranteed. Is like, Google's just a giant monopoly. Someday somebody's gonna get them. I hope. Please, if anybody's listening, help us, because they're in our pockets, and it's horrible, but it is what it is. You got to pay to play, I guess. But they, we could review these Google calls. So
is this AI? Is it all Google backed?
No. Nope. So this is actually, it's called RingSense. Ring Central. They have other phone companies. Dialpad's another one, but it's very expensive to do. But I think the positives outweigh the cost. And we do a lot of Google stuff, so we have to go in and code these calls. And sometimes these Google calls, believe it or not, are $50 to $60 for the call.
And you get 200 a day.
Right? Well, not all through Google, thank God.
Oh, okay.
We spend thousands, hundreds of thousands on Google.
Okay.
So it allows us to monitor these calls without listening to the call, to see like, hey, this was a Google call that came in and it sold. So we're tracking the ROI on the Google call. And now instead of listening to the calls, we could just summarize it. So, without, say it's taken one of our customer service reps 5 minutes a call to review it. Now she just goes in, logs in, reviews the call, and she could code it the right way in the system.
I like this.
Yeah.
So by the way, in full disclosure too, and I'm glad, I don't know why I didn't think of this even when you first said it, but I actually use an AI too to decipher these episodes too.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. It probably doesn't cost anywhere near as what yours cost.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's AI software out there for the podcast world. We use a couple different ones for a couple different purposes.
Okay.
But, like, for example, if, let's just say somebody's helping produce a show, but you don't have the time to sit there and go through and either watch or listen to the whole thing, you just run it through this software. It literally transcribes the entire episode word for word, pretty accurately. Transcribes it, gives you, suggested titles, gives you key points in the episode, like anything. It's got a Chat GPT built right into it, so you can like type in like, "Hey, at what timestamp did Jeff talk about, say, the word risk?"
Yes.
And guess what? It'll give you the exact timestamp, and then you can just go right to the transcript and see exactly what you said about risk. For you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And you can do that with like pretty much anything.
It's funny you're mentioning that because we had a call the other day. A woman called to book our services in the Poconos. She had another competitor, big company, and they ended up signing up with us, and then we went out, did the first intro service. That's what we call it. It's an introductory service. That company called back a day later and said, "Hey, we want to roll back your price." So she called and she's like, "Well, I don't want to do that service anymore." "Man, like, we completed the service. We were at your house. You gave us the key to get, a lot of the homes in the Poconos are key accounts, or codes. So we went out there, we did the service, and she wanted her money back. And it's like, that ship sailed already. We did the service. Like, I don't know what you want me. Well, she never, the rep never said that, there was an introductory fee, and you go on to the AI and you just type in intro, and she said it 7 times. So
there it is.
There it is. And technology is crazy anymore. I think AI is a tool, and you see all this stuff, when I do watch the news or I hear it.
Yeah.
People are scared of it, but I think we created that. When you look at society anymore, you can't get people to work in McDonald's. You go for a coffee at Starbucks and they're closed at 6:00 because they don't have anybody to work. So yeah, there's going to be robots that are going to make your coffee. Yeah, there's going to be AI that's going to take your, job that you needed a college degree for. I learned that there's attorneys writing case stuff with AI at this conference I was at. It was just amazing to me what people are using. And the more you're exposed to it, the more you learn that the opportunity is endless with it. So it's all on keywords and how you ask it. You could ask it one way, I ask it another. We get 2 different answers, and it's not always right. You gotta sanity check it.
Yeah, same thing with this stuff. Like, it's not like, like I said, I've written and produced some other episodes of some of our other shows without ever even listening or watching the show. And like, I would take the description. Like, it gives you descriptions, like a few standard ones that like it thinks is good, right? And then I usually take it, and of course I tweak it, right? Like you said, it's not perfect, but like I tweak it, just to I guess to have a little bit more of the, I'll say, like the tone of our stuff here, right? Mm-hmm. And then like I sent it to like one of the hosts, like, to the show. I said, "Hey," I'm like, does this sound like I literally said this to him. I was like, "Yo, does this description sound like what you guys talked about in the episode?" And he goes, "Perfect, love it."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Cool."
Yep.
So again, like at first it wasn't perfect, but like I tweaked it a little bit just to, whatever. But yeah, I mean, like, it's same thing. Like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So full disclosure, if you go onto our Google, my business page, all those reviews are responded by AI. And when you're getting hundreds, of reviews.
So this is where your money's going. This is where the money's going to Google, right?
Yeah, well, that part is the Google reviews is free. It's the Google ads when you're paying for that.
Right,
where it costs you money. But you have to respond to review when somebody says, "Hey, this guy was awesome," and our guys are they're doing good. So you got to respond to them. But how do you respond to hundreds of reviews at a personal level without sounding redundant, right?
Yeah.
Saying thank you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But
Exactly.
ChatGPT knows how to figure that out.
Yeah, it knows how to be different every time.
They do, and personal, and it's like spot on. So we're using that, and that takes away an administrative job. As this technology continues to advance, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more. I mean, you could take an Excel spreadsheet, mash them together, divide them out, do whatever. It'll do it for you. You don't even need to know Excel anymore.
Yeah.
So
it's wild. Well, nobody likes Excel anyway.
No, I like
it. You don't like it, do you?
I do. I wish I could figure it out.
I don't think anybody has ever actually figured it out.
My
wife likes Excel. Jess, I don't know how. Like anytime like I'm doing something and I'm like just the other day I was trying to because I'm switching my bookkeeping over and I'm exporting client customer list, right? And it put people's names separate columns, and or they were all in one. I had to separate it, and or whatever it was, vice versa. And I'm sitting there doing it manually because that's how bad I am at Excel, right?
Yep.
And it wasn't that many. It didn't really take me that long. And once I was done, then she didn't know what I was doing, but I told her, and she's like, you could have just merged, just did that like with the click of like two buttons. I'm like, no, and she's like, well, she's like, next time you need that, she's like, just tell me and I'll
she uses YouTube it.
I know.
It'll show you a video.
Yeah. But I was like, I was just in the moment. I was like, copy paste, and just did it real quick.
I've played around with like pivot tables, and I love. I just wish school and I know we talked about this the last episode.
Yeah.
They need to teach the basic, like how to cook, how to clean, write a check, go to the bank, invest your money.
Yes.
Excel, like just
all the basics at life.
Yeah.
I mean, I could maybe leave the Excel out, but maybe not. But
I would challenge somebody like algebra, like tell me the last time you needed that, or geometry.
For what?
Like, I'm not going to be an engineer. And are you steering education towards like I don't know. I mean, in your graduating class were engineers or
I don't think
scientists. Yeah, me neither. I don't even know if there was like anybody that went to like a, top rated school. I don't know. Like when you think back.
Yeah, when you look back on it, it's like, so you look at the smart kids, right? I was never the smart kid, right?
Yeah,
because looking back on obviously I think you're in the same boat. You were the entrepreneur kid. You were like the kids, looking around the room all the time.
I was a loser.
Yeah, me too. I was the loser. I was disrupting. I was thrown out of class.
Yep.
I did everything but class.
Yep.
Right? Because I was bored. I think I knew at the time too. I know it's like sounds silly, but like even as a teenager, I said to myself, like, what am I ever going to use this for? Mm-hmm. Now, of course, part of that might have just been uninformed, slightly cocky teenager, but at the same time, I was right about a lot of that looking back on it. And I'm like, just like you said, what the hell am I going to use? Again, unless you're going to go be, an engineer or a very specific field like that, then okay, I get it. You need to know that stuff. But otherwise, like a majority of people don't need to know that.
I look at AI now, like they used to tell us calculators, right? Your teacher
it's
say,
like, hey, we got the phone.
You got it in our pocket. The teacher always said, you're never going to have that in your pocket. Now you do. So like AI, you look at it like you want to do a research paper, and I don't know, somebody's got to explain it to me, but you go to college, you do all these papers, and I just think if you could use Google, if you could figure out how to use these tools that are available to you, you're the smartest person in the world.
You can do anything.
You can do anything. You don't need.
I literally use AI every single day.
Yep.
To do everything.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't know the answer, obviously I know everybody does this too. You go on Google or you go on YouTube.
Yep.
Right. Or again, I use a couple different AI softwares, just as you do, right? I mean, you probably use it a lot more in depth than I do or we do here, but like, you could literally do anything.
I can't wait until it could write my emails.
Oh, it could.
It could,
but maybe not like fully, like actually like respond and send. But I feel like it's got to be out there already.
One day. That's the only way you could get in touch with me. You can't call me. I won't answer my cell phone. I don't answer the office.
You answer
phone.
for me though.
Yeah, if your name's in my phone, I'll answer. Yeah. But you have to be in my phone.
Okay.
But like email, we get calls all the time. Salespeople calling the office, and they're like, "Yeah, just email them." They're so easy to hit delete.
Oh.
So that's
why do people even do that anymore? Like, what do salespeople think, man?
Yeah.
Dude, it's obnoxious anymore.
It is.
It's obnoxious. Every day I delete like 100.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Yeah. Now they have these drip campaigns.
Oh.
On the Stacks will be back in a flash after a word from our sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by Elevation Wellness, NEPA's premier wellness center located on Mundy Street in Wilkes-Barre. From pro athletes to busy parents, Elevation Wellness is leading the conversation when it comes to bettering your health through integrative medicine. Founded by NEPA native Louis Helmecke, Elevation Wellness offers physician-formulated and guided treatments that are administered by registered nurses. To learn more about how you can experience the benefits of IV vitamin therapy, multivitamin booster shots, non-invasive aesthetics, or peptide, NAD, red light, and compression therapy, visit elevation-wellness.com or follow them on Instagram at Elevation Wellness NEPA. All On the Stacks listeners will receive 10% off their first purchase with code STACKS at checkout. Call 570-762-9400 or visit elevation-wellness.com to book your appointment today. Elevation Wellness, taking your health to new heights.
lot of times when people are in car accidents, kind of forget what we should do. First and foremost, call 911. Then, get out of your car before moving it and take pictures. It's so important to capture what the cars look like immediately following the accident. Finally, call your insurance carrier and make a claim.
To learn more, visit Anzalone Law offices online at anzalonelaw.com. This episode is brought to you by Loop Internet. Are you tired of buffering, lagging, and slow internet speeds? Look no further. Introducing Loop Internet, Northeastern Pennsylvania's fastest and most reliable internet service provider. With Loop Internet, you can stream, game, and work from home seamlessly. Say goodbye to interruptions and hello to lightning-fast connections. Loop Internet offers both residential and business fiber. Fast-track the future with their 10-gigabyte fiber and join the Loop Internet family today. Visit Loop Internet online at loopinternet.com or call 1-888-808-5667. Again, that's 1-888-808-5667. Or visit them online at loopinternet.com. Loop Internet, where speed meets reliability.
And now we're back on the stacks.
Yeah. So, but also speaking of AI, like, you know, and we said a little before, I don't know, and I really don't know the answer to this, like how much like you are in the stock market in terms of investing, and it just, I'm interested in those types of conversations. But speaking of AI, because you talked about you have Tesla, and all kind of not that they're not AI, but kind of sort of. I mean, they're obviously a car company, right? But they're a tech company, really.
They took a hit.
Yeah.
Last 2 weeks.
Yeah. But one other, you know, if you don't like, are you familiar with NVIDIA?
Yeah, I didn't get involved in it, but yeah.
Yeah, I did, but not that it was too late, and I still don't think it's too late. I mean, by the time this episode comes out, it's going to be a little delayed. It's like real time right now, but I was just, you know, talking to somebody else about it, but it's still a good opportunity, I think, to get into it, they're saying. And yeah, so I mean, I do own a little bit of NVIDIA, and I'd recommend checking it out.
Yep.
Again, I don't know, by the time this episode comes out, it might be a little bit more. I think it's going to continually go up.
Yep.
But NVIDIA's a good one that I wish I would have bought more. It's probably gone up like 10, 15 times over in the last several months. I mean, like that much.
My biggest is I buy what I believe. So Starbucks I believed in until they started really screwing up my coffee. Like, you travel a lot, and Dunkin', and I know this will upset a lot of people, but Dunkin' just doesn't do it for me.
No, they suck. Dunkin' just sucks.
It's kind of like drinking coffee. It's like it
tastes like plastic.
An ashtray and a rubber boot.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, so it's not good. Now Starbucks.
I'll admit I used to like it, but then you know, then it's like I drank both Starbucks and Dunkin', but you know, on days that like I just wasn't near a Starbucks, whatever, I would just.
Now you're like a regular Starbucks.
I don't drink coffee as much as I used to, which is crazy, but I'll like never drink Dunkin', like probably ever again.
I like Starbucks blonde roast.
Okay, that's a good.
It's kind of like the watered down version, but it's not like 0 to 1,000,000 in one cup.
Yeah.
So
I'm like an iced coffee or like an iced latte guy.
Okay. Yep.
I'm like an espresso, but like an iced latte.
I'm an Americano. I usually do about this is bad, like 3 double shots a day. It's probably bad.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I could do it before bed too.
And go to sleep.
Yeah, like I could be out to dinner and the dessert is a double shot espresso.
Yeah, I was kind of like that too. I never understood that.
And a little Baileys.
Okay, there you go.
A little bit.
I never understood like how people always like, oh yeah, like I can't drink that before bed, because I was always kind of the same too. I mean, maybe not as much as you, but I would, you know, be able to just drink, you know, iced coffee or iced latte or whatever, and still just be like, oh, all right, time for bed.
Yeah.
You know, or some people are like, what are you, nuts?
I did believe in Starbucks, and I sold the stock because they screwed up my coffee too many times, so I'm out of that. But, you know, Hilton, I'm a big Hilton fan. So, you know, Hilton.
Do you stay at the Hiltons a lot?
I do.
Too?
Diamond member,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so like because of all your travel, like you said, you based on your experience and literally personally, like you see it, you believe in the product. And
yeah.
I think that's important.
Good brand. And that's, I think when you're investing, buying what you believe.
Right.
Tesla was, you know, the only reason I got into it is I was getting out of the city of Wilkes-Barre, and I remember talking to the administrator of the pension, and I had to pull it. You know, I was like 11 months shy of a pension. If I wanted to stay in it, I had to pay so much. It just didn't make any sense. So pulled it out, and I saw something about Tesla and the solar wall. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. The wall, like the battery, you know, it's going to power your house. I had no idea about the cars at that time. I knew nothing about Tesla. I just dropped that all in Tesla.
Screw it. Throw it in.
Yeah, and then I think it split 2 times, and it split another 3 times. So I'm still good, but not as good as I was.
Yeah. Used to be better, but still.
3 years ago, it was really good. I mean, I thought I was,
yeah.
And somebody told me that they had Microsoft. This was a retired Wilkes-Barre police captain who does quite a bit of trading. I think it was Microsoft he owned, and he sold it when he thought it was at its best. And he wishes he never did, because he would have been a multi-millionaire, So, I say to him all the time, like, he told me that story, and I'm like, I really don't want to sell my Tesla because for what?
Yeah.
I'm just going to hang on to it. If I lose, I lose. What am I going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Risk, right?
Yeah,
that's what it's about.
It goes back to the risk.
Yep.
And but also back to the whole financial thing, the financial literacy. I've always hated math. Like, and anybody that's probably watching that really knows me knows, like, I hate math.
Yeah.
But I think I hated math because it was like the geometry. It was like those stupid, you know what I mean? Like, it was
when they started adding letters to it, right?
Yeah. Like, what's that?
Yeah.
It's little symbols and stuff. Forget it.
Yeah.
Who
does that?
Yeah. That's like another language, I guess.
Yep.
Right. But like, again, just the basics of just investing. And by the way, neither one of us are financial advisors. Don't take any of our financial advice, so you can't sue us.
There's
right?
our disclosure.
There's our disclosure. We got to throw that. I was like, oh, I gotta say, you never know. But yeah, like, I mean, the basics of like investing. And again, you don't have to. I'm not talking about being a day trader. I don't day trade. I never did. I probably never will. And that's. I mean, some people say that that's not investing. It is, but it's just a different type of investing. But like, just the basics, man. Like, the basics of like stock market. I have people, I'm 35 years old. I have tons of friends that like, occasionally will just come up in casual conversation, and they're like, I don't even have a 401k. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? And like, there's people like, I know people that are like probably near retirement age or 10, 15, 20 years older than me, still work, right? Like 50, 55, 60, that like never knew and never learned, and still have what I would consider like next to no money in their 401k, because it just sat in like a bullshit like couple percent fund all these years. And I get it, like the employer, I don't want to say it's really not their responsibility, but I think it kind of should be if you're educated enough to be able to sort of guide your employees. Obviously, there's a legality in that. You can't, obviously they can come back and sue you, whatever, if you tell them, hey, put your money in this, and then it tanks. Like, what I mean? I get that. So be careful with that. However, man, like that, there's so many people that don't know, like just the freaking basics.
Oh yeah.
Like the basics.
Where I learned, and it wasn't school, obviously. I think God,
it wasn't school. I like that.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah. When I got out,
me neither.
I think they even took like home ec out, like sewing, like basic, all that stuff they took out. But Stash, I'm pretty sure it was still called Stash when I first originally, or no, maybe it was Acorn. Whatever one, it was like, if you use your debit card, it's going to round up.
Yeah, maybe it was Stash 1. I know it as Acorn.
And it takes like the difference, and then you can invest it. And I started to play around with it, and I don't even know what the first stock I bought was, but then when you start seeing your money, take off, and trying to explain it to people, let's take Tesla for example. People are like, well, I can't afford, right now today, I think the last I looked was like $170 a share. I don't know if it went up or down since then, but when it was up to like $900 a share, like
$1,000.
Or they're looking at Amazon, they're like, I can't afford that. I'm like, you could buy fractional shares. If it's going up 10%, you're still getting 10% on your money.
It's all the same. It's all relative.
But this is where people are like, and these are like people like went to college, and I'm like, I probably just barely made it through high school. I don't know how I did it.
Yeah.
So my teachers hated my guts. So here I am.
Yeah. Right. Here we are now educating other people.
Yeah. Yeah. Street smart, right? Grew up in South Wilkes-Barre.
That's it.
So the only thing I didn't have was a gun. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Did you? I don't know.
I might have.
Yeah. But no, like it is actually just, it's actually so simple. I've said this, I feel like a broken record, but I really feel like the education system is broken in most ways.
Like, think about the government's involved in it, right? They lend you the money. The first loan you get is a government, then you go to private. So like these colleges and universities are charging how much? Yeah. I mean, it's a racket.
It's a scam.
Yeah. People hate me for saying that, but
yeah, they'll probably hate me too. And I will say, like, I went to college, right? And sorry, mom and dad, but one of the biggest things I probably got, well, number one, it was a fun party, right? But I did get I'll say networking.
Yeah.
I'll say the relationships that I built, the friendships that turned into business, business relationships, and still, personal friendships too.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know if it was just going to Penn State, being at a bigger school with the amount of people that I met and, people from all different states. I mean, the network that I was able to build, that was, was it worth all that money? I don't know, maybe. I mean, I'll say I probably, as a salesperson, brought in probably like 7 figures plus of revenue generated just from my network from Penn State, which when you do the math, I guess it's probably made it worth it, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, like, other than that, like, I don't know, I wrote a few papers.
Yeah.
I don't know what else I did. I didn't really go to class then either.
I was sitting, I think it was either Arizona or Florida at an event, pest control, and there was a sales rep that just got a job working for a major manufacturer. I mean, you're talking like a pharmaceutical company that all the pharmaceutical companies are involved in pesticides, or a lot of them are. And she said, well, you guys went to college, right? And we're all sitting at the bar and everybody's looking, and there's multimillionaires, maybe 2 of them, and that conversation came up. And I think if you have the drive, you can do anything, lazy people get those results. If you have the drive, you're gonna succeed.
Yeah, and book smarts only go so far.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
I mean that's just meant for a classroom.
It's
not really meant for. It's not meant for real life.
The internet, AI is the new calculator. Learn how to use it, embrace it, and take advantage of it.
Seriously,
it really is. It'll
could
write
be
a
little
paper
scary.
for you.
Yeah, it could be a little scary sometimes when you think about it. But at the same time, I'm a believer in same thing like with social media and all, and just technology in general. Obviously, there's good and bad with anything in life, no matter what it is, right? Yep. But I tend to be an optimist, right? And I tend to look at the good side of these things, and I use it for good, and that's all you can hope for. Right?
Yeah.
There's really not much else you can do about it except just educate people on it, right? Yep. But like, man, like you could literally do it. You don't even have to. Again, just like, kids in school now. I mean, I'm sure they probably are. Like I'm talking like younger kids, like high school. I would hope. I mean, if it were me and if I was in high school, I'd literally just be on Chat GPT or any of these other AIs, and I'd be just getting all the answers for that, and then just actually getting good grades because I
you don't have to pay the person in front of you to do your paper anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You don't have to cheat off the next guy. Like you could just.
Yeah,
it's wild.
That was me in school. Barely made it.
Same. Yeah, and you really don't like. You really just need the basics. But I think it's more the street smarts. It's more having like that intuition, like that gut feeling.
You know what I look at it like, and I've attended quite a few sessions on AI, and every one I go to, I learn something more on how to use it. And it's just somebody opening up your brain for the creative part. And this guy that spoke on AI, this conference I was at a few weeks ago, he said that like digital creators or artists, like, they're not going out of business. It's just making their mind 1,000 times more powerful. And it was amazing, this class, that he wanted a porcupine to tell a bedtime story to his son, and drew a porcupine that started to tell a bedtime story, and then he wanted to put him on top of a volcano, and it did it. Like it
do anything. You can literally have it. You can literally have AI write an entire you're like your own book. You can just publish a book now.
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably know. You're kind of sort of saying that right now, but you can literally just and because I've looked into it myself too. Like you can literally like through Amazon. There's programs to be able to basically for free. By the way, like I mean, obviously you're gonna have to do a lot of the legwork to be able to tell the AI how to do, and you have to sort of teach it first a little bit, right? And I'm sure you probably understand that, but you can literally have it like from start to finish, literally write you an entire book and then publish it.
Have you asked about yourself yet?
No, I don't know if I did.
Do it. It's scary.
Like what?
It'll tell you all about on the stacks. It's going to tell you about your career.
Which platform?
ChatGPT.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Do it.
I'm like half tempted to do it right now.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
I hope it doesn't. Let's see. I hope it doesn't come up with anything bad. I can't. I don't have anything bad out there. Let's see.
It literally like must scrub the internet and just puts everything together. I mean, it told me about my career. And
like, what did you type in?
Tell me about Jeff King and the Pest Rangers, and
All
right,
I'm gonna type in. Tell me about. I got the app for. So I had the paid subscription.
GT4.
Yeah, 4.
Yep.
Okay. That's what you've done?
Yep.
Okay. So it probably only works maybe with the paid version.
Might, yeah.
So by the way, if you're using the free version, spend the $20 a month.
Yeah, it's worth it.
It's by far worth it.
It'll make your job easier. Your boss is gonna love you.
Yeah.
Because that's what a lot of people are doing now at work.
Exactly. Yeah, if you're not sitting on your computer at work all day using AI, you're doing your job wrong,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Really.
Do you encourage your employees to use it?
I mean, in the office, not really. I mean, we're on like processes and procedures.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah. So it really, in your case, it may not apply.
Yeah. I mean, for now, it will it'll write RFPs. It'll do all that for you now. So you could actually take like a government issued RFP, pop it into AI, and it'll scrub and tell you exactly what you need to do, spit out checklists for you. So that stuff is cool if you're getting involved in it. But
Yeah.
we try to stick away from low bid government work.
Okay. It's generating. It's pretty long, so I'm not really going to read the whole thing, but it's still going. It's just going here. And I know where it pulled a lot of this from too. Wow, it's still going. I thought it was done, but now it's a whole nother paragraph.
Yeah. So this is like the new rabbit hole for you.
It is.
Yeah,
oh man,
it's pretty neat.
Wow, it's still going. Like, look at this. Like, I mean, I'm literally, we're on to our third paragraph.
Yep.
But yeah, wow, that is wild. Wow. Yeah. I mean, and it's as far as it's going. I mean, it's completely accurate. Mm-hmm. Like completely accurate. Wow. It's even referencing a Discover NEPA article that wrote to me. There's quotes in there from it. Like it says Bill Corcoran Jr. on the stacks, why NEPA, Discover NEPA. Even has like the reference where it came from. Wow.
So there's Google. I think it's Google Bard now. I played around with it. I actually just tied. So we use Gmail as our
same
company. Emails all go through Gmail.
Yeah.
And I just allowed our network of employees to use AI to respond to emails.
And what is this one?
I think it's called Google Bard.
Google Bard.
Yeah.
Okay. And does it integrates right in with G Suite?
Yes. Yeah. Or is it Google?
I'll look it up because I'm curious.
Yeah, we just started playing with it.
Because I've been using it for years.
It's good. Like if you have a difficult email to write.
Yeah. Like
anything difficult.
Yeah. Like one that you're struggling, you don't know what to say or how to say it.
Yeah.
And it's like you feel like you're saying the same thing all the time.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, and you just got to tweak it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it makes it easier. It makes it
Is it just like a plugin in the browser?
It is. It's a plugin into your email.
Okay.
Where you just hit, I think it's like a little pen on the bottom or whatever it is.
Yeah. I forget which one. I had one plugged into something, and maybe it was my browser in general at one point. I forget. Maybe and this was a while back. Maybe this was like when it really, AI wasn't maybe as good then, so I just kind of like got rid of it. And I don't even remember what it was, but I'm curious about trying one of these now.
Yeah, somebody needed a resignation letter, so I had it write the resignation letter.
There we go.
It was pretty cool. Trying to think what else we did. Some training, like if you need a slide presentation, you could put it together.
Oh yeah.
If you need to go teach people about rodents, I mean, it'll put the photos in there, reference. I could be
a pest expert tomorrow.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah. Right? Think about it with anything with the internet anymore.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people. If somebody asks you what kind of bug is this, don't lie because they already know.
Yeah.
It's take a Google lens.
Yeah.
There's a million insects out there.
Yeah. It's wild. I love it though. The AI thing totally fascinates me because like I said, I literally use it every single day, every day for something big or whether it's big or small, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
I'm on there, even if it's just messing around. Like, do you ever use generate any images? Like you can generate images, logos. One of these actually generated this tattoo, not entirely.
Really?
Yeah. And this is actually pretty new. It's literally a few weeks old. But I had it generate this. I mean, I took it and then gave it to the artist, and then he just sort of changed it and tweaked it just a little. Well, again, it wasn't like fully accurate, but it was pretty darn close to this. I mean, this is just a he put his little spin on it, like artistically, right? But I just gave him the concept and said, hey, here's a concept I came, and I flat out told him it was from AI. Like there's nothing to hide, right? But I was like, hey, here's a kind of concept of what I'm thinking, and then he just took it. He had to move it around a little just because it didn't make sense fit wise on where the position was on my arm.
Yep.
But yeah, boom. You have it freaking literally tell it to draw you a tattoo, give it like the elements that you want in it.
Yep.
Like everything.
I have not done anything with images yet. I think I tried with like Dolly. Is that it?
It is. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So I tried and it was a little weird.
It is a little wonky.
Yeah.
And sometimes it spells things wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is one weird thing. It does for sure. But for the you know what it's, like when I got it, like even it did it with this, like when I was putting, I forget what some of the other words were that I didn't end up actually getting, but like it spelled some things wrong or had like 2 T's in the. I mean, like stuff like that, which I don't understand why it does that. But then when you tell it to spell it correctly, it says sorry, like, and then it says now and then it spells it correctly.
Oh yeah,
it redoes it and correct.
It's funny because I was last week in DC at a meeting, business development committee for the National Pest Management Association. We're talking about AI, and the National Association really sets the bar on where the industry's headed, and people are afraid to talk about AI. And I kind of put it towards, and this goes with any business. You have businesses that run on pen and paper, right? Because they don't believe in computers, right? So those folks are going to be so far behind now because they totally missed the software era.
Oh yeah.
And now they're
going to have to go from pen and paper to AI. And by the time they even make that jump, it's going to be even like AI is going to be so advanced.
Yeah. They have you have to adapt, or you're going to get run over.
Yeah.
So I said, our industry, pest control, pest industry, we have to start bringing in those industry experts, and really just, if we don't, we're going to be behind. And you see it in other industries already. They're talking AI. So it's cool to go to like other conferences, different industries. If you go into like marketing conferences and stuff, and you see what they're doing. I'm realizing now, like writing blogs, it's being done by a computer. Yeah. I really don't. We have a blog guy, and if he listens to it, I don't know. I'm sure he's using AI.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We're all listen. Everybody that writes blogs is using it.
Using AI
to some degree.
Yeah.
100%. Whether it's just for topics, ideas, outlines.
But before it, there was ghostwriters. Think about it.
Yeah.
Because he always approached me about, hey, I'll do a ghostwriting story for you, and this. Now it's like, well, okay, I just plug it into AI and send it to the Wall Street Journal, right?
Pretty much.
So
seriously.
It's scary, but this is what happens in the world when people get lazy, right?
Yeah.
So and college is very expensive.
Yes.
So
just go on ChatGPT.
Yep.
Pay for the $20. Yeah.
Simple.
It is. It's so funny because we've talked, I'll say, at great length on this episode about AI. I'm real curious. So this is obviously, like I said, this episode is going to run through the AI, one of the AI platforms that we use, and we'll see how accurate. I mean, I already know because, like I said, I've been using it for a long time.
Yep.
But it's just going to be funny to see this because I don't think in any episode, I don't think I've ever had anyone on the show that we've talked about. I'll say AI at this length and in depth, right? So it'll be real interesting for the AI to be talking about it, itself essentially, and when it deciphers this episode. I'm real curious to see exactly like what it spits out.
What it has. I have an AI assistant now, so the AI assistant will sit in meetings with me.
Well, how does this work?
It'll go right into your Zoom meeting. If you're, I do a ton of Zoom meetings.
Is this ChatGPT or something else?
No, it's called Otter AI.
Otter. Okay, I've heard about it. But either way, I'm signing up for this.
Yep.
I'm writing this down.
It's cool. You could even have it on your computer at a trade show. Sit in the front of the.
So class. I could have it right now.
Yeah.
Does it just record audio? Like, is that?
Yeah, it'll record audio.
Or like a video
in-person meeting, or it'll get on your Google Meets.
Oh my God, I gotta do this. Like now, I won't even have to then plug it into the side. So after this, and I totally cut you off here because I got so excited about it. So I could actually just have it here. It can listen to this, and then probably in like a couple minutes, it probably deciphers and spits out whatever you need it to.
It summarizes the whole episode.
Yeah.
So what's neat is just a few weeks ago we were talking about investments before for our company. We have retirement, so we were meeting with another company looking at different options, and I couldn't make the meeting. So my ops finance guy Frank, he went in, and I said, Frank, I'm not going to make this meeting. I'm checked out today. So my assistant still went to the meeting. And he didn't have to recap anything for me because the meeting was over, and I got the summary, and I got to see everything they talked about. Anything that was on the screen was recorded and sent over.
So how do you send your assistant still to the meeting? How does that work?
It just attaches to all your accounts, so your Google Meets, your Teams, and
does it integrate like with your do you use Gmail, your calendar?
Yep.
Account. Okay.
Yeah, it goes right to your calendar.
I love it.
It'll
know, like it'll just automatically attend. Like let's just say I have a Zoom meeting next Wednesday at 1:00. Right?
Yep.
And it's already booked on my calendar, links in there, all that. It knows who's in the meeting, right? And it'll just attend that meeting.
Yep.
And then just automatically
Send it to you.
It automatically sends it to me.
Yeah,
I'm
so if you're-
as soon as you walk out the door, this is the first thing I'm doing.
If you're in a group meeting and you don't really have to attend, but you just need to get the content, you don't have to
God.
attend. But what's cool is when you jump into a meeting and people are like, "Hey Jeff, like, what's the Otter AI?" And you got to explain, "Well, it's my assistant. It's here to."
I love that.
Take notes.
It's my assistant. Yeah.
And it'll actually
hey,
come
my
up.
assistant's coming to me, and they're like, where is he or she?
Yeah, well, it comes
Yeah.
up in the chat. It'll say, "Hi, I'm Jeff's, assistant."
Oh my God, I love this.
So everybody's like, "What the hell?
What the
is
hell?
that?"
What the hell's Jeff doing?
Yeah. So
I'm gonna be that guy tomorrow, literally.
Yeah, embrace technology.
Yeah, and think about that. Like, imagine kids using that in school now. Like, because I was the kid also sleeping in the back of the class. I'm sure you did that too.
Yeah. I was getting in trouble a lot.
Yeah, but like you can have it essentially attend your class. I mean, however, if it just records audio or whatever, right? Like, but if you fall asleep in the back of the room and you just have it record the class, well, then guess what? You don't even really. You just afterwards you're like, oh, okay, we know what went on in class.
See, I don't know what I have, and I'm sure there's like psychologists that listen to your episodes. I either have ADHD or one of those things that they never diagnosed when we were in school.
Yeah.
But I cannot take notes and pay attention at the same time. I got to either pay attention and try to absorb as much.
Yeah.
Or if I take notes, I'm like, what did he just say? And I'm totally lost.
100%.
My notes are like one word things, and this
Me
AI.
too. I took. Look, here's my notes from today.
See?
How good are these?
That's mine.
Horrible.
That's
like
exactly
horrible.
what I do.
Yeah, barely enough. I mean, like, so I take this and I cross-reference because I'm same thing. Like in the past, so with these episodes, because again, these are delayed sometimes 4 to like 8 weeks, and sometimes like when we leave here, I'm depending on the day, the time, etc. I'm not going to then sit here. I can't digest I can't right after this, no matter what. I can't just sit here and think like, oh, okay, this is what me and Jeff talked about, and I can't then just start putting pen to paper to write the descriptions of the show, like etc. Right? So I actually sit on it for a while. And then but then the negative to that is
forget.
I forget.
Yep.
And then that's why I got the AI software, right? Because then it helps me refresh and bring back, and then I cross-reference it with my horrible notes here. Like, hey, these are a couple cool things Jeff said, right? And I'll plug it in and see if it matches up with the software. And usually, again, it's pretty good. But yeah, same thing. Like somebody else said to me, Bill, like, oh, why don't you just take some notes during the episode? Well, it's like, first of all, I don't take good notes. Like, horrible.
If you're taking notes, you're like, what did he just say?
Yeah, you can't pay attention.
Yes,
I'm the same
that's
type
me.
of person where, like, if I'm engaged in the conversation, like, I need to, like, really be.
Yep.
That's why I just write one word.
So what is wrong with us?
ADHD.
Got to be.
Yeah.
And somebody says, why don't you get medicine? I don't want to screw up my, like, look where I'm at.
Yeah.
You can take medicine and it totally like just sends you
Right.
down a track that no, it's all right.
Yeah.
I'll live with this.
Yeah, just get AI.
No, I got AI.
You got AI to take care of it
it's
all.
taking my notes and I'll pay attention. So
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Paying attention without having to pay attention.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this works.
It does.
I'm learning so much.
Yeah. This is great. Yeah. But same thing. Like, it's just that I can't focus on, I can only focus on like one thing at a time. I mean, I could, I'll say like I could multitask, but then I know it, like, they're going to suffer.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just going to suffer because my comprehension is horrible. That was always like one of my, like, math and reading comprehension for me was terrible.
Now, how about music? Do you listen to lyrics or do you listen to the beat?
I'm more lyric.
Really?
I'm more lyrics guy.
Yeah. Somebody could be like, "Do you know what they just said?" And I'm like,
That's
not a clue."
Well, I actually look up the lyrics. I'll actually
okay.
go online and I'll actually like, or on like, do you use Apple Music
I'm
or Spotify?
I'm an Android guy.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. Is that my green bubble?
You're the green bubble?
Yeah.
How did I forget about that?
Yeah. I just can't do the Apple stuff.
Okay.
Not
I'm an Apple. So, but like, okay, so here's a perfect example. So on Apple Music, watch this. I'll literally, when I listen to songs, sometimes I'll just look at my phone, and sometimes again, because it depends on the song, you just can't understand sometimes what they're saying. You're like, and to me, I'm always like, I am intrigued by lyrics and music. Like, I do listen to a real lot of music all the time, and I really like to like, actually understand what they're saying and actually try to understand like why they.
See, and
like,
I must be weird because I hear the beat and I hear the instruments, but I have not a clue what they're saying, and usually my mind's thinking about business.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not paying attention anyway. So.
Yeah, I mean, half the time, again, for me, music, a lot of times is just, I'll just have it on the background, like I'm doing whatever. But then there's times like where I actively like want to listen. I'm like, oh, I want to understand like what story they're telling, right?
Yeah.
Like through their song, like what's the meaning behind this song? And I'm always like, I can go back like to when I was like in high school. I was like Googling back then. There was, and the website still exists. I think it's called A to Z or azlyrics.com. And like back in the day, right? Makes me feel really old now. Like back then, that was like the only website that actually had accurate lyrics to songs. Now I'm going back to like 2000s.
Yep.
Okay, like literally 2000. I might be like going back to like AOL, like you've got mail days, like literally like that type of era of internet. And again, I used to look up lyrics even back then, like literally like in the early 2000s. And that was like one of the only, and it still exists. But like, so back then I used to go online, right? And I somehow found that AZ Lyrics website. It was, again, there was hardly any, now there's like a million out there.
Sure.
You can just, Google actually just gives you the lyrics. And if you just Google a song.
You could just hum a song.
Exactly. You can hum it. You can just type in like a few words and it just guesses and knows, right? But like now, like on the iPhone, like most times, not all times, but majority of times, like it has lyrics right there. You can just, switch it over and like read them like as it's
Speaking
as
of
you're
like
listening.
music, remember like Ghostface Killah's Tupac? That was bad. That was really bad.
Yeah.
You hear the music now?
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Like bad.
Yeah.
Think of this. Yeah. We're not even going to go down that route. It's bad.
Yes.
So
yeah. Crazy.
I was bad in school, but I wasn't that bad.
No.
That's bad.
Yeah. I was just a goof,
Yeah.
but I somehow made it here.
Yeah. It's made us who we are, right? Street smart.
Yeah. And like for me, like too, like even like I'm obviously you like hip hop, right? Obviously, right? So like for me, like the thing with hip hop, I guess for the longest time, I didn't really realize maybe until I got a little bit older. Again, sometimes it takes me a little longer to catch up and be like, oh, now I know why that, like I did that, or now I know the meaning behind that, right?
Yep.
And I think hip hop, a lot of it is it's like the come from nothing, street people, like like they came from literally nothing, from dirt, and found a way to be successful. And most people like look at rap music like, oh, it's like it's degrading. Oh, like it's all it is cursing. Oh, all it is, it's like I can't even understand it. Oh, it makes no sense. But when you really dissect the lyrics, again, because I'm a lyric person, they're really telling a story, and it's theirs. And it's 99% of the time, it's their story of coming from nothing and actually, like hustling, right? Whether that's selling drugs or not, and not condoning it. But I'm just saying, like they're just sharing their story, and that's it. Like and just I guess I relate to like that hustle, the grind, and like really musicians, and a lot of them are really entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And they're just putting their entrepreneurial journey into music. See, I think that's why I like it so
much.
My
hustling was different. I was selling candy bars.
I was too. I sold everything out of my locker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Mom. I used to make you buy all that stuff, and I would take the boxes, and I had sold everything out of my locker.
Yeah.
Yeah. CDs.
I used to, knock on the door. Hi, I'm with the Myers High School band. Right. 3 get candy bars from Turkey Hill, 3 for $1. Sell them for, sell them for $1.
Yep.
So
I would buy bulk CDs up at Best Buy. I'd burn, I'd go to, what was it, Nardone's, the music gallery, right? I don't even remember what it was called.
Yeah.
Like back when we used to have to buy CDs, I would go, I'd buy the CD. It was like cost like $15 or $20. And that was like a lot of money back in like
bill.
2000s. Oh yeah. To anything. I got anything. There was days where I sold 50 CDs in one day.
Nice.
Like 50 copies. I don't even know what I sold for, like $10 each.
Are CDs a thing anymore?
I have no idea. I have no clue. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe just for nostalgia. I don't know.
They still make records.
Yeah, and that's like big kind of that's coming back.
Yeah.
I'm not like that wasn't really my era. So like I'm not like I was a big CD guy. Like I said, I literally went, and anytime any new album came out, again, mostly pretty much all rap and hip hop, but I had it all. Like in the 2000s, I was the music guy at school. Like if anybody wanted a new CD, I would leave school, go right to the store. Was it
Joe Nardone's?
Joe Nardone's, yeah. Literally go right there at like 2:30 or whatever it was.
Was that downtown Wilkes-Barre, right? Or which one did you go to?
Well, there used to be one in the mall, Wyoming Valley Mall.
Yep.
I used to go to that one, and then there used to be one over
Street.
the west side.
Oh yeah, there was Gallery Sound. Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be. Remember the old movie
Gateway?
Yeah, I called it the Gateway Correctional Facility.
Yes.
It was so like run down, right?
Yep.
but yeah, so I used to I'd run over there, and I would literally, as soon as school let out, I would go over there, get it, go home, and I would just buy like a pack of 50, 100 CDs from Best Buy, and I don't even remember what the CDs cost, but clearly it was very profitable.
Yeah. Does he still have a store downtown?
I think there is still at least one that exists somewhere. I really don't know where it is. I probably haven't stepped foot in that store or any, I'll say, music store like that since, I don't know, high school.
Makes me want to drive down South Main Street and see if he's still there. I don't know.
There's definitely one somewhere. Is there one on Mundy Street?
There used to be. I don't know. There
Mundy
might.
Street.
Yeah.
I feel like there still is. I'm gonna have to look it up right after this because now I'm curious too.
Yeah. You just get oblivious to the world anymore, right? When you drive.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I don't pay attention to anything.
No.
I don't know street names.
No.
Like today, I was meeting for somebody for lunch. He's like, "Where is it?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's a big red 3-story brick building." I'm like, "It's across from us." I'm literally, so I'm doing. I feel like an idiot.
Let me drop a pin.
Yeah, I literally felt like an idiot because it was my first time meeting someone. Right, it was a business meeting too. Right.
Yep.
And we had to change restaurants last minute for lunch because the place that I picked, I didn't realize it was closed. Right? Weird. Just the day of the week, right? But so then I called him. I was like, "Oh, hey, they're closed. Sorry, I didn't realize." So then I texted him. I'm like, sent him to a few blocks. Literally, it was just a few blocks away. And like I was like, I didn't really know how to tell him to get there. I mean, obviously he could have just plugged in his GPS too, but he was also driving.
Yep.
And he was like 5 minutes away. And I'm just like, I don't know, just like it's like, go around the corner, like go around the corner. I'm like, I don't know the street name. Like I'm also trying to look it up on my phone. Obviously I could read the street name.
Yep.
But like I didn't know how to tell him. He's like, which one is it? I was like, I don't know. I'm like, it's a big red brick building. I'm like across. And then I'm outside my car, like kind of like looking for him, like hoping he would see me. And then he did.
Yep.
He's like, "Oh, are you in the white SUV?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I'm in the Jeep." I'm like, "Oh, hey, yeah, I'm here. This is it."
Yep.
But yeah, I'm oblivious to like all that stuff.
I wouldn't be able to survive with a map.
No.
I don't know how my parents did it.
No,
like
me
that's
neither.
tough. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna go to, Disney. Okay,
Yeah.
I got to punch it.
I only ever did it like one. It wasn't really even a map. It was a map quest, like way back in the day, like when I was like, I think I was a senior in high school, and I was going to visit Penn State. Like once I had already decided that I was going to Penn State, and then me and a buddy decided just a random Saturday or something just to drive out to State College. And again, we were still in high school. I think we were 17 or 18, and first time like going out there, I think by myself, but I printed the directions. Like, how weird is that? So weird. To think.
Yeah.
Like, I printed the directions, like, and you like read it, like.
Yep, I remember doing that.
Yeah.
And I also we took there was about 30 of us from this area. We went to a car show out in California, so we flew Southwest, and my buddy Dale had a GPS that his dad had. It was a TomTom. So he's like, "Dad, I'm gonna take your TomTom." We packed it in a suitcase and rented a van. There was 6 of us in the van. And we all split up. We were in Malibu. We saw the Hollywood sign. We were everywhere, all over California because we had this GPS.
Yeah.
Everybody else is like maps, we're past them, waving, laughing, they see them with their map.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was cool. That's when that technology just came out.
It's crazy.
Yep.
So crazy. But I'm glad we went down the AI rabbit hole.
Yeah.
That was a nice turn.
Again, for anybody that's skeptical about it, just embrace it, learn about it, watch some YouTube videos. There's TED Talks, I'm sure, out there. Locally, I'm sure there's going to be Boscov's might have a course. Boscov's gives the courses. Maybe they'll do an AI course. Yeah. But go to it because it opens up your mind.
It does.
So, and it's all on keywords and how you ask and phrases. And it's neat.
And I need to get better at it too. Yeah. Because there's so much more that I could do that like I just don't even know. I mean, I obviously like I'm very interested in it, and I learned a few things. I took one note here, Otter AI. I wrote Otter AI Assistant. That's it.
Yes.
Like that's my note.
You'll like that.
Yeah. I know. I definitely. I'm 100% getting it. Like it's like that's the first thing I'm doing. But yeah, it's. I think more people just need to embrace it. They need to teach it, and just like back in the day, like you can't use a calculator. Well, I hope they're not saying you can't use AI because. That's backwards.
Yeah, I think they said too. They're like trying to, and I don't know if it's true or not, but they're trying to run like college papers through like AI. Like, is this generated by AI? I mean, why are you gonna? I don't know. Why are you coming down on students that are being innovative? Right. So they're
smarter than you.
Yeah,
hate to say that. Right?
Listen, when they're done with college and they go get a job and they need to do something for work, they're gonna go to that.
Right.
Like there's no stopping them from doing it.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's not perfect, so they are gonna have to tweak it. They are gonna.
Yeah,
have
you
to
can't
look
just
at
rely
it.
on it 100%. No way.
Nope.
And I don't think it'll probably never be perfect because even though a lot of people say like, oh, society, everything's becoming a little bit more robotic, and yeah, maybe it is, but like. There still needs to be that personal touch to a degree.
Yep.
And while the AI could teach it, it's never going to be perfect.
It's still our fault. Think about how lazy people are. I'm telling you, I travel a ton, so you go places, you want to get something to eat and they're closed, or you see that sign on the door. That business owner can't open because they don't have employees.
Yeah.
This area is a little tough. Employees are tough. It's hard to talent here compared to, our Philadelphia market. I get great employees in the Philadelphia market. I don't know if people don't want to work or if everybody's working here. That I don't know.
Yeah.
But the job market's different from
It
the one side of the tunnel to the other.
It's like night and day.
Yeah.
It's like we said. Everything about it.
Everything about it.
Literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
More expensive too down there, but
Yeah, that too.
yep.
Yeah. So what's next for Jeff King and the Pest Rangers?
Keep going.
More growth?
Yeah, more growth. I got to connect Philadelphia to Wilkes-Barre. That's my
Bring them up through the tunnel.
bring them through the tunnel. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be a challenge, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
I don't know if opening an office there and trying to build it is going to be smart, or if we're going to try to acquire, somebody that's looking to retire and
Yeah.
kind of mold our way.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
it'll happen.
Yeah, well, maybe I won't wait so long to have you on again next. But either way, I feel like by the time I have you on next, that gap will probably be closed.
Yep.
Right, and you'll be double in size. So looking forward to the next one, man.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, it's been too long. You've helped me get rid of a few bugs, in between since then, which I appreciate.
Yes.
I don't like bugs. I hate bugs. I actually hate bugs.
That's so usually it's usually believe it or not, it's not always the wife that hates bugs. A lot of times it's the husband. It's like, I'm just not dealing with it.
Yeah, I have no shame. I mean,
Yeah.
Jess doesn't like bugs either.
Yeah.
Actually, she's worse than me. And she's like, you gotta kill it. I'm like, no, you. And then we get in an argument,
Yeah.
I just don't like bugs. I think because I was stung like 100 times by bees when I was a kid.
Ooh. Yeah, that's tough.
I mean, I don't even actually know how many times it was. That's how many times I got stung. So I think ever since then, I think it scarred me for life. So I hate all bugs because of bees.
Yeah,
So
bees were horrible this year.
bees
or
ruined-
last year.
Yeah,
Really bad.
bees just that's it. Like I don't think I've ever gotten over that. It's been-
Yeah.
yeah. It's been,
Honeybees are good. Anything else is bad.
Yeah.
They come with a vengeance.
Yeah. What are the ones that keep stinging?
Yellow jackets. Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yep.
That's because I remember looking down and just like they're on and until you kill them, right? Like, I'm guessing. I mean, I had to kill a lot of them that were on me.
That's scary.
Yeah, and they follow you for a long time.
Did you step on the nest? Is that what happened?
I did by accident. I was weed whacking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, teenager. Didn't know, and because I was a dumb teenager, and I'm weed whacking in shorts with shoes that have holes in them.
Yep.
And guess what? They were in my shoes. They were in my sneakers. They were coming up my legs, all over. Like I literally, I kicked my shoe. I like just dropped the weed whacker, ran, kicked my shoes off. Like literally, I had to take my shoes off. I'm running. I'm like running down the street, right? Probably taking my shirt off, and I'm like swatting them every which way. And on my face, I got stung in the eye. Like they followed me inside into the building. Like literally, like I probably went. I mean, around, big building, literally half a block, and they were still on me. And like I remember, it's like they just keep stinging.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's we encourage our technicians to wear bee suits. They have them in the truck.
Yeah.
And it's important. That's
Yeah.
but weed whack. That's a common.
Yeah.
A lot of the calls we get in August.
Is that?
Yeah, and some of them, medical emergencies. I mean,
Yeah, thank God I was all right. Like,
Yep.
thank God I wasn't allergic. I mean, I probably would have been dead.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah,
not that I was like far secluded or, an area, but like I probably wouldn't have had long
Yep.
from the time that because the thing was when I first started getting I didn't even realize it because again, I'm in shorts and where I'm weed whacking, like there was like, it was always like there's little rocks and glass and other little things. I was used to just getting my legs cut up and nicked up just from like shrapnel, right?
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Just everything on the ground like that, because I suck at weed whacking, right? Everything that like you shouldn't be hitting, I'm hitting, and of course I'm getting all cut up, and it was just the nature of the job, I guess, right?
Sure.
But yeah. So at first I'm like that's really starting. I'm like that. I look
It's
down, and I'm
starting
like
to burn a little
oh
bit.
yeah. Then there was a lot of bees everywhere.
Yeah, that's a fear of mine.
Is it?
That's why I don't weed whack.
Yeah. I don't anymore either.
Yeah. Weed killer.
Yes. Anything but weed whacking.
Yep.
I stay away from the bees.
Yeah.
I don't do bees. I think I know I had the ant thing here, but when I saw a bee in here, that was it. I'm like, I don't care what. Don't raise your price, by the way. But I was like, I don't care what Pest Rangers cost.
Yep.
I will not have another bee in here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
Wage war.
Yeah. War against the bees.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, so I'm trying to get over my bee PTSD still.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. That
it's a real
take
thing.
a long time to,
it's a real thing.
go away.
Yeah. Yeah. But so anyway, don't get stung, people. If you
Call professional.
call the Pest Rangers.
Yeah. Make sure
Yeah.
the guy's wearing his bee suit. Call me if not.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you could leave it in a review, the AI will decipher it.
Yeah. It'll send it to my desk.
There you go. Yeah. Well, good. This was great, man. I appreciate you coming back in, and it was cool it's nice to see like the new things you're doing, and I love having these conversations with people that are doing like this. You know, we're not in the same business, but like we're utilizing the same tools. We have the same mindset. We have the same like, you know, all that growth mentality and all that. Like I really like having these conversations because I think it's really valuable.
Oh yeah. Business
You know?
is business. Even I
Yeah.
have buddies that are surgeons and we talk and it's like, hey, you guys go through that too. Like our customers do the same, you know, we do the same.
Right.
It's all relevant.
Yeah. It's like, until you have those conversations with people that are doing similar things, you're like, oh, okay. So it's not just me, right?
Yeah,
Like, oh my God, like you experience that same thing. Like, oh, you're doing that too.
Yeah.
You know, plus, you know, obviously we learn from it, you know?
My favorite conversation, you talk to a plumber or an electrician and, you know, Susie wants you there at 5:30 on a Friday. Obviously it's very convenient. You know, I'm like, do you guys get that too? Like their pipes are leaking and, you know, like, oh yeah, no, they want a Saturday at 3:00 because they're working during the week, but they'll let the pipe, you know.
Yeah. Right.
So it's all relevant.
Yeah.
Business is business.
Soon there'll be an AI to take care of it, maybe.
Yeah. A
Who knows?
robot.
Something. Yeah. But until then, all right, man, this is good. So don't fly the plane sideways.
Yes.
All right. Let me know when you get the helicopter.
Maybe I'll have the license by the time I'm back.
You have to.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'll have to get I don't think we're big enough here, but we'll get a landing pad.
40 foot.
Next building.
Yes.
You know, we'll find something and land it. We do a podcast from it. Maybe I'll do that.
There you go.
I probably would do that. I would put my fear of small aircrafts aside, maybe for something like that.
Perfect.
'Cause I think that'd actually be a really cool
Deal.
episode. All right.
That works.
All right. I'm gonna put my life in your hands.
Sounds good.
All right, Jeff King on the Stacks in the Blue Door Studio. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
If you want to see more On the Stacks content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/onthestackspodcast or search the hashtag On the Stacks on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.